is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. hair is standing on end just thinking about it.
Hello?
Hey, Mohammed.
Hey, hey, sorry about that.
No worries. How are you, my friend? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, okay, you guys can hear me?
Perfectly, perfectly.
Nice.
Yeah, so once again, we are live, world's greatest live stream show. And look who I have here today, Mohamed Lahna, silver medalist. Let's just get right into it.
Sorry.
Hey, look at that.
Say hi.
Hi.
This is
Hi.
Sarah, my daughter. I
Hi.
have the whole family here in France with
You
me.
got oh, amazing.
Oh,
That's
I know, just,
amazing.
just stop, just stop that.
I love it. I love it. Mohammed, let's
Yes,
get into it.
yes.
I can see that you're a father, but who are you and what do you do?
Oh man. So my name is Mohamed Lana. I was born and raised in Casablanca, Morocco. I was born with a birth defect called PFFD. Uh, it's a congenital condition that affects mostly the legs, sometimes the upper body too. So I'm missing the hip socket, the femur, a lot of parts of my right side. Yeah, I grew up in Casablanca, Morocco, playing soccer like any other kids in Morocco, using crutches, and for so many years, and until I was 24 year old, where through connection, my dad as a taxi driver met with somebody who knows somebody. I got fitted with the prosthesis, and I start
Wow.
cycling. Yeah, I started cycling very late, and then I loved cycling, and then start doing stuff in Morocco and also in France. I met with this guy who is a below the knee amputee. He was talking about triathlon, and somehow it caught my attention. I went back home, started looking up triathlon. Yeah, I entered that rabbit hole since 2009.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now I want you I normally save this for later, but I have a new idea. So, what languages do you speak? English, one, but what other languages?
I speak French, Arabic, and Moroccan.
Okay. So, we're going to do this. You tell me what language you want to do this in. I normally I have my stopwatch ready. And you were touching on some of this, but you got me going right away. I want
Okay,
to hear your life story in 60 seconds in whatever language you want to tell me it in.
all right, let's go.
Okay? Ready? Go.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Mohamed Lahna, je suis un athlète paralympique représentant les États-Unis. Je fais le triathlon depuis 2009. J'ai fait des triathlons de courte distance, longue distance, euh, et c'est ma troisième jeu paralympique. Rio 2016, Tokyo 2020 et maintenant à Paris 2024 avec les États-Unis d'Amérique.
All right. That was 30 seconds. Hey, I don't. You were speaking French?
Yes.
Okay. I I found out you're a three-time Olympian.
Yes.
So
Oh, nice.
I picked
That's
that
cool.
up.
All right, nice.
That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. The we've had a lot of different athletes on every single day, right? And Chase Jackson, the shot putter, the Olympic shot putter, she has the record for the longest of that. I think she was close to 2 minutes.
Oh my God. Wow. All right,
And
I need to redo it again. Just
you're
kidding.
in second place for the shortest.
Okay.
Beatrice had a 27-second version. So
You should
you're
have started with that. I would add more details. Just, all good, man.
so one of the things, Mohammed. So why triathlon? Why three things that are really hard? Why don't you just stick with one really hard thing? What?
Well,
How are you wired? How does that happen?
uh, well, let me start with the joke that triathletes said to each other that we're not good at any sport, so we suck at three. So this is our. So, um, no, I mean triathlon is just. I feel like it fits my personality. I like adventure. I don't like boring stuff, repeating my stuff every day. And triathlon has all those elements. It's swim, bike, run, and even we'll get to that later on. Racing, it's always in different environment, different race course that we don't know, and we have to adapt to it, to training, and even like with the case of Paris, the last minute we have to adapt and change our preparation for the race. And also, it's a lifestyle. It's like always close to nature, swimming in the pool, swimming open water, biking indoor if you have work or busy life. Also going outside, doing mountain bike, gravel bike, road bike, whatever. And running is just like whatever you want, treadmill, road, trails. So it's endless possibilities out there. And for me as a father, I get to do some of this with my family, with my kids. uh yeah, I just like it fits my lifestyle.
That's so interesting. I never thought of it like that. You're the first person that's ever kind of brought it up like that, where it's it's not boring. There's always a new place that you could do it in, and it's three different things,
Yes.
which is super cool. The I do need to get some biking tips from you. So I do. I live in New York City. I'm in Manhattan right now, in downtown in Soho. But every night I ride my bike about 10 to 15 miles all over the city. But what's the one good tip to make me a better biker? What is the one good tip that you could give to me?
Oh man, I mean, personally I enjoy gravel and mountain bike. I feel like it's the best. Road bike has its own like hook, like adrenaline rush. If you, I mean, in New York, you guys are like just like go into Central Park. There is so many rides there,
Yeah.
and some really good riders, group rides in New York. Um, I I love the outdoor element. I have done some bike packing on gravel bike, on mountain bike, and it's once so here is like if you want to enjoy cycling, you see where you live, you see what are the possibilities around you, what's easier to do, and you try to adjust to your environment. This way you make it easier for you to do it every day. So for me in the Bay Area, I have a different setup from you in New York, where it's a condensed environment. That's one side. The other side is I have a really busy life. I have a full-time job, I have a family, I do a lot of work indoors. So there is this platform called Zwift, where
Yes.
so I'm on Zwift like all like most
Really.
of the yeah. So it's easier, it's faster. If you want to have an 1 hour workout, you get like a one hour workout. You don't need to get dressed, like get all the gear, find the place where you're gonna ride and all that stuff. So it's a very time efficient, and you get to do some cool stuff on Zwift too. So I think having different options and having no excuse with the weather, uh, and adapting to your environment is the key to enjoy riding.
I think you're right. Like that's the one thing for me. I ride rain, shine, wind, cold. I hate it when it gets 8 miles an hour wind and above. Like for me, that's my my tiny threshold, but I'm still doing it. But
Nice.
so tell me a little bit. Can you break down the event where you won silver? Like, take us through that and kind of how. Just take us through the event and how it evolved and what you were thinking along the way, and then the feeling of having won a silver medal.
Yeah, so triathlon we have different distances. So it's swim, bike, run. One you start and you finish like swim, bike, run. There is no break or anything. As a triathlete, when you do sprint or Olympic distance, we count swim, transition, bike, transition, run because transition is really big part of the course because people can win or lose races
Wow.
just by transition, but not paying attention to transition and not practicing those elements of the race. So for us, it's a sprint distance, 750-meter swim, 20K bike, and 5K run. And in the case of Paris, we have a lot of drama going on. So we start with the swim course. So the big concern that we had, like for a long time, is the water quality. For the Olympics, they had to postpone the men course like 2 days, and they end up doing it the third days, both men and women combined. And sorry about that. And for us, there is another element that's added to the course, which is the current. The current was much stronger than the last year. So 3 weeks before the race, the organizer were thinking about having like the original plan, which is an out and back on the river, so going with the current and coming back against the current. And the plan B, if the current stays strong, we need to do from point to point. Basically, we're
Mm.
gonna swim along the way with the current, but they're gonna increase the distance. And plan C, if nothing, the water is not an option, we're gonna do duathlon, which is run, bike, run. So these,
Wow.
yeah, so we had all these scenarios for a race, like 2 weeks out, and we had to plan for all these options. Um, and it started to be like too much pressure to handle. And going like 2 days before, 3 days before race day, the organizer had the confidence that uh, the currents went down a little bit, so we're gonna go with the original plan, and everything is looking good. The water quality is just below that threshold that they had, and so everybody was ready, and like that was the perfect scenario for all of us. But then 4 a.m., like 4 a.m., like 4 hours before the race, we
Mm.
get an email that the race is postponed. The water quality went down.
Oh,
So
jeez.
like this is literally like, yeah, so it was like we had to,
Crazy. So
yes,
wait a minute. So it was postponed.
yeah, like we were supposed to race on Sunday,
Wow.
and we end up like at 4 a.m. on Sunday we got the email that there is no, yeah, we need to go on Monday. And
Wow.
also because the water quality and the weather system was like affecting everything, we basically we had, because we have like 6 categories, we were spread on 2 days. They're gonna bring everything in one day on Sunday. So we moved back, we moved one day to Monday, and it's just that waiting. You have all the gears done, we are primed and everything, but you have to adapt. Also, in our apartment in the village, we had some athlete unfortunately got sick, and so that also like added some element to the mix where we
Wow.
have like it basically it was like COVID in our apartment with mask and cleaning and all that stuff.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, so we try to sleep, make the best of that day, Sunday, and then we try again for Monday. And that was a go. So went there. I mean, for me, I've been racing since 2009. Uh, so far, you start having good feelings when you do the warm up, and you see, okay, this is a good day for a race.
Mm.
And I start like doing the bike warm up, and I start having those feelings, and those feelings always give me that confidence that all right, especially for big races like this one. So that's yeah, so that's the morning prior to the race. I had my race started at 9:30. Not the strongest swimmer, I have my teammate Mark, who's a really strong swimmer. He's the one who is the fastest swimmer, and I have two other swimmers who are stronger. So I was trying to stay at least one behind one of them, but I couldn't do that. And I was just trying to, especially coming against the current where. So think about it. So it's an out and back. It it took me like 3 minutes to get all the way to the end, and 3 minutes. It took me 9 minutes to come back.
Oh, wow.
So the current was
Wow.
strong. Yes, to give you an idea about how.
Wow. And
uh,
so as you're swimming like that, and like you're saying, you're not the strongest swimmer. So
yes.
are you, so your goal was to try to see if I could, how well can I keep up with these guys who are the stronger ones? And then are you trying to just stay in that mode and moment, or are you constantly calculating, all right, here's what I have to do next. Here's what I have to do next. How does that work for a triathlete?
Well, so historically, for this past 3 4 years, it's been the case. So I got used to it that swimming is not my strength. So we had two goals. The first one is minimizing the damage, the gap as much as possible, closing that gap, and also it's my favorite things to do on the bike is chasing them and trying to like.
Ah,
So that's it. It become like a game for me. Like once I'm on the bike, because the bike is my strength, is trying to chase one by one. And so that was like, I try to make it fun for me, and like it makes me like it motivates me to go even harder on the bike, knowing that I have that capability, and I know they know that. So it's like a game between us. Um, and this year I was surprised that one of them was really strong. It made a really strong gap, but it worked again. Like I was able to pass two people ahead of me, and then I had two that I had to pass on the run. I managed to pass one, but and this is where I end with the second on the run.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So how the run is a 5K,
Yes,
and you said the ride is 20,
20K.
20K. All right.
Yes, 13 miles. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so how long does it take you to cover 13 miles?
I like on the bike,
Yeah.
32 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well,
That's fast. That's
Paris
fast.
was Paris was a really technical course. We had 5 laps with a lot of turns, U-turns, cobblestone.
Really?
It was not a fast course.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was a slow course, but it's technical and it's fun. I love those courses.
You do. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
The the I'm wondering, you seem like such a happy person. Does happiness translate into being a really good athlete? Because I notice a lot of happy people are on the medal stand. This is a trend I found. I've interviewed hundreds of athletes over the years, and it's like it seems to me the happy ones are the best athletes. So is do you see that too?
um, I don't know, like so. Uh, I want to talk about triathlon. I don't know about other sports. It's like a very high risk, very high
Right.
risk, high reward sports because it's three sports with the transition, and they have the mechanical aspects of it. Like you can have a problem on the bike that can end your course right away, and
Right,
if you make
right.
a mistake on the transition, if you sometimes if you drop like just a swim cap out of the water, you get 10 second penalty. There's so many aspects that
Wow.
it's so intense during that an hour 7 minutes race for me, and for us like all these years, like you train like for me like it's this journey to represent Team USA started like 8 years now for 1 hour 7 minutes, and if one thing goes wrong, all these 8 years, like that's it, it's over. And all these people that were racing yesterday, they were doing putting the same work, and they worked
Right.
hard, they made sacrifice. And I think when you make it to the podium, it's like there is no reason to not be happy and grateful. because all those people that were on the start list with you, they deserve to be on that podium. So I'm very grateful. Yes.
It's awesome. Now, did you compete for Morocco originally? Or
Yes.
have you did? Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a question on that, and I just wanted to ask you. So how does that work to be able to compete for one country and then later for another country? How does that process work?
So yeah, so I moved to the US 13 years ago, and when I was trying to qualify for the games, I was not a US citizen yet, so I had only Moroccan citizenship. So I raced with Morocco, and then after that, when I went to make the switch to the US team, uh, so every sport has a different rules. So for my sport, I had to race 3 years until under the international flag.
Oh, okay.
So so they make it difficult. I mean, it's a good reason. This way, people can't keep flip flopping between
Right.
countries. So for 3 years, I was racing against and under the World Triathlon flag. I didn't have any. I was with Team USA, training with them and all that stuff, but I was not representing the USA flag.
Okay. So I think I noticed that on some of your posts, and that's
Yes,
that's what it
I.
was. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so basically it's a 3-year period where
yeah,
you have put in some sort of application to say I want to, for Rio or whatever it was, I
yeah.
want to compete for the U.S. But
Exactly,
they say you for 3 years you have to go through kind of this process.
exactly.
So really,
Yeah.
what they're doing, I guess, is saying, are you really committed to doing this? Is that what they're?
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you serious? Or because yeah, athlete they can switch countries for they want to switch countries for so many reasons and sometimes can be like
yeah.
stupid reasons. So they make sure that it's not like something that easy to do.
Well, it's interesting, Mohammed. From what outside looking in, it seems like more athletes are from the U.S. will go compete for another country because it's probably not to be like it's probably easier potentially to make the team
Yes.
because the U.S. generally speaking has like a lot more depth,
Yes.
and you did the opposite.
Yeah. That's 100% correct. I knew when I did the switch um, why I did this because I know most of the US team in triathlon and the staff at USA Triathlon and before I become a US citizen and we had good bonding and I love the team spirit and I wanted to do that because of the team. The USA Triathlon team has
Mm,
a really good culture, has a very strong team and we care for each other. And when I made that switch, I knew what I was expecting. I knew that it's gonna be a lot harder uh, trying to qualify with USA
yeah,
team because when I went to Rio, I was the only athlete from the entire continent, both men and female, all categories.
really.
Yes, I was the only one from Africa or the Arab world. Yeah.
Wow.
So yes,
All right. So
and
wait a minute. Let's stop there for a second. What is that like? You're the greatest athlete in your sports in the entire continent. I mean, I guess now you're the second greatest in the world. So
no, so literally this is what was in my head. So I love the U.S. team. I love all the athletes, and I said, um, if I can't make it with the U.S. team, I don't deserve to be on the Paralympic
hmm,
stage. So this is what, uh, and also like Morocco prize money was a lot higher than the U.S.
what is wrong with us? Right? What is wrong with us? What was the prize
I
money in Morocco? What would a silver medal at the
I know
Olympics be for
I know for
Morocco?
gold it's 200K.
Oh my God, Mohammed!
I know. I will not change that. I really love
But this
all
has to
these.
be remedied. Like that is crazy. 'Cause I think it was the Philippines or one of Singapore or the Philippines where that guy in the Olympics, I want to say he was a gymnast, and he won 2 medals. I think he won like $1 million. He may have won
Wow,
$2 million plus an apartment, plus like all this other stuff. I'm like, what is wrong with us?
that's
Our
awesome.
gold medalist gets what,
I
37,500 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
we don't want to go down that road too much. Though. Let's forget that part. So um, I ask this question a lot,
yes.
and I'm really curious to hear your answer on it. What do you think it takes to be the greatest?
Wow. Um, I think a lot of like I get in touch with a lot of athletes with disability. They want to go to the Paralympic Games, and I want to be Paralympian. I want to be Paralympian. I want to be this, and it's and they don't know how much work it takes. And you need to, so first of all, you need to love what you want to do. You need to love that sport, and also you need to have that consistency for a long period of time. You need to be able to tell yourself that I'm going to be doing this, repeating this over and over and over a long period of time until I get to my goal. And it's not a straight path at all. There is a lot of curveballs, especially for para sports that come to us. Like if you use a running leg, just itself, like just if you use a running leg and try to run or do triathlon, that itself it's gonna be a huge challenge. Uh, if you get, we're gonna pass like the aspect of having a running leg because getting the prosthesis itself is so challenging. But maintaining the training, you get blisters every day from using a running leg when you do effort. Volume change, the socket change because you lose weight, you gain weight, you lose muscle, you gain muscles. And also like as you become stronger in your sport, the setup need to be changed because the blades they respond to different. So this is just one tiny example.
Wow. Yeah.
And you need to have the patience to go through that process. It's not like a pair of running shoes that you can buy whenever your shoes are used. No, this is uh, a lot of resilience, and so that's like I think you need to love what you want to do, and also like tell yourself that I need to be consistent over a long period of time until I reach my goal, and you need to live with that for a long period of time.
That's a really powerful answer because I think, in this day and age where it's like everything's so instant, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you've again chosen three events, and your sports are inherently kind of more than normal. But this idea of like, I guess that passion is part of the jet fuel to keep you going and pursuing for that long period of time, right? I mean, if you don't have the passion, then I guess the rest of it's kind of just work, and work is not fun.
Yeah.
The work is going to
Exactly.
be the work either way, so you better love what you do.
Ex- Yeah.
So
So yeah, yeah.
tell me
You really
more.
said yeah.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, tell me more about. I was talking with Beatrice Hatz a few days ago, and she was talking all about kind of you know the element of her leg that she has to maintain, just what you're talking about. And so do you have different how do you approach each sport differently with your disability? Because you have
Yes.
three things, like she's
Yeah.
she's running and jumping, but you have three different events. How does that work for you?
Yeah. So I have my daily leg that I use for my daily life. For swimming, we don't need any prosthesis, but uh, we use a wetsuit or tri-suit, but you need to tailor it and adjust it to our disability because our limbs are not equally. So that's the first adaptability that we need to do. On the bike, I cycle with one leg, but I have to have an adaptation on my bike where I can fix my residual limb to the bike. This way, it's not just flying around. And so I have to do an adaptation to the bike. All my bike, my time trial bike, my road bike, my mountain bike. On the run is this is where the big challenge for me, because I'm not a typical amputee. Uh, I have a birth defect. I have a little foot, and I don't have the hip socket.
Mm,
And it was a long, long journey because there is no playbook out there for my case. So I have
really?
to meet a lot of people. USA Triathlon, they had this running clinic in Colorado Springs, and I had the chance to meet with this prosthetist from Chicago. His name is David, who worked with me. Like, I had to fly to Chicago so many times to get this custom socket for my running leg, and then working with the OSER who provide the all the blades and also the expertise on how to adjust the sockets, the blade with the component that connect them accordingly that serve my unique disability. So it was going an extra mile trying to find that setup that would work for me. And finally, uh, I need to have a running leg for my race, like for my pace for 5K. And I
Mm.
have to have a running leg for easy runs because they're totally different for me.
So this is like a whole like I've learned so much. So we're going to do a total of 13 episodes. So this is our 10th. This is our 10th episode, and I've learned so much. And it's like the more I learn, the more I'm interested in learning more. so so I did see you on your bike. And so what you're saying is your partial leg has
Yeah,
to be because you have no control over
yeah.
that part of your body, right? So
Yeah,
that
so I
has to
have,
be. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so it's got to be kind of locked in place, but then, and that's your left side or right side.
Right side.
So then your left leg is doing all the work,
Yes. Yes.
man. So
Um,
how does that? I mean, I guess you've lived with this your whole life, but how does that work? How is the mechanics of that working?
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, when I start cycling, I used to cycle with the prosthesis, with the bike leg. But for people that have like, this is unique to disability. So below the knee amputee, like they have the quad, they have the knee, they have the muscles. They need to use a bike leg. They have a bike leg. They need to pedal with because they can get power out of their quad and their hamstrings and their knee.
Right.
For us above the knee amputee, a lot of us started with a bike leg, but when you get to this level of an elite racing, whatever it's a paracycling or paratriathlon, it's faster with one leg actually than having a bike leg.
So is it all right? Why is it faster? I won't try to guess. Tell me
Yeah,
why is it faster?
well, it's faster because so when you have a prosthesis, you need to have a knee, you need to have a long pylon, you have a socket, and the cadence with that leg it's much slower,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you don't get as much power as one leg. And once you start cycling with one leg, I mean, I remember exactly my first day cycling with one leg. I keep tipping over because the balance is off. It was scary. It was like
Wow.
it was crazy. It was madness. And but you need to keep doing it because once you figure out the balance, it's a lot faster than having a bike leg for above the knee amputee. One leg is 100% faster than having a bike leg.
So, all right. Now I'm interested in like logistics stuff that you have to do. So, when you're actually slowing down to get off your bike,
Yes.
how do you get off your bike? How does
In a
that work?
triathlon.
No, well, let's say in the triathlon because the transition is. Wait a minute, though.
Yeah.
The biking is second. Yeah. So tell me how that works in the transition. How do you get off and do that with speed and get ready to run?
So in the triathlon, in the elite level, we do fly mountain. So basically, we took the bike shoe. So I have one side. So put the bike shoe on the pedal, open the strap, and have like a rubber band attached to the frame. And so the shoes is ready. So you go, you remove your wetsuit, you put your goggles, and you push your bike out of the transition, and you jump on the bike, and you slide your foot inside the shoe, and you start pedaling, pick up speed, and then put the strap, and you keep going.
Wow.
And we do the same thing in the way back when dismount. When you closer to the red line where you need to dismount, uh, You go down, you unbuckle the strap from the shoe. You try to slide it slowly, and then as you get closer to that red line, I do it. I jump off the bike with the foot and go to the transition, hop in with the bike next to me. So this is how I do it. It's
Wow.
really fast, and you need to practice that. This is why transition is very important in sprint and Olympic. You need to nail down that transition. In regular life, when we are going like there is a stop sign or red light or whatever, that's it's kind of challenging. You have to unclip and wait like when it's and stop, and then I have to push with my left foot like two or three to pick up speed and a little bit of speed, and then clip in and settle in. If you are uphill and for some reason you're unclipped, the only reason that I can go up is I need to make a little loop down and then go up. So I need to go down, clip in, and then go up.
That is wild. That is wild. So, thinking back through 3 Paralympic games, right? Can you think back to how kind of what you were thinking in that first Olympics when you made the team, and then this Olympics, and what was similar and what was different?
Yes. So the first game with the Moroccan team, I was the only triathlete. Um, I didn't know this is the first games. You don't know what's going on. Uh, I was super focused. I talked to a lot of people who went to the Olympic because they were like about a month earlier than us, and you learn from their experience. The swim is different. It was on the ocean at Copacabana Beach, and so you learn a little bit of how to handle the race and how to manage that. So I had to do all that stuff by myself. This time with the US team, we have a whole team with us, like giving us all the intel, all the work.
Wow.
So it's a big difference between doing all the work and the research by yourself versus having a support crew from coaches, like the staff from the USA Triathlon, from the USOPC. It's really two different experiences. They both have their pros and cons, but I this one, like coming from bronze in Rio, going to Paris, I had more pressure than Rio, a lot more pressure
Really?
that affected my sleep. I was like a little bit nervous. Uh, yeah, I was not like the week leading to the race. I was not really enjoying it that much because the pressure starts mounting a lot.
So,
But
where to talk about that just for a second? Like,
yeah.
because it's a word, right, that athletes use a lot. And so, kind of, what are the feelings beneath that? What is kind of the origin? What's the thoughts that are kind of making this pressure build for you?
So there is two aspects of this. So there is like the personality of the athlete. For me is like my wife, my family, my friends, like all the people that helped me all this journey. I don't want to let anybody down because they like I this journey. It's not just me. It's a lot of people. Like my wife, like with 3 kids, managing my friends, my partners. So it's it's a lot of people that supporting you or having faith on you, and you don't want to let them down. So there is this pressure that every athlete is different, but also I like every time I do a lot of race visualization, and I go through the race, the swim, the bike, the run, the transition, all that stuff. And last week prior to race, my head always go to the like worst cases. Like, what if I have a flat? What if my chin fell off? What if I miscount? What if I have a penalty? So I start thinking about all this bad situation during the
Mm.
race, and I try to clear my mind so many times, but they keep coming, and I end up like, okay, what if this happen? I will do this. If this happen, I will do this, and it's just like a loop that you keep going through it. So that's
So,
where,
so
yeah,
is that where you, what were you were kind of combating those thoughts with I'll do this, this
yeah.
happened, I'll do this. And did, as the week progressed, did it kind of subside a little bit, or it just stayed there and you just kept battling those thoughts back and forth?
It keep battling. I mean, with my coach, we have so many conversations about this. There is a lot of things that we can control, like the training, the nutrition, the sleep, and all that stuff. But race day, there is a lot of things that we can't control. I mean, you can put on new tires, your bike is checked by the mechanic, is all good, but something can happen that you can't control. And even though knowing that, my kind of personality keep, what if this gonna happen? What I'm gonna do? What will be my reaction at the moment? And in some sense, I think for me, it kind of helped me have a plan. Like, all right, we know during the race we have those wheel stations where I can go and change my wheel and keep going. Do I want to keep going, or like if I'm not on the podium, I will stop? Like,
Mm.
what are the options? You don't want to let that to race day to make the decision and be crying on the side, but because I know this is a possibility. So what is my plan? Is it what is more important for me? Is the podium? If there is no podium, I don't care, or I should finish regardless. And this is one of the decision that athletes like me like sometimes
What
think about it.
did you think about? Did you make a decision beforehand? Like if something were to happen,
Yes.
did, so what was it? What did you decide?
Like for me, I rather finish than like just like be like on the record disqualified or didn't DNF, like did not
Yeah,
finish. I rather finish and be on the finish line with my teammate than not finish. Yeah.
yeah. The What do you really think? Like a lot of times, we've worked with a lot of athletes and shot a lot of different content, and there is something different about an athlete who has not been on the podium or an athlete who has not made podium, and you've been on the podium multiple times, in the
Yes.
Olympics, let alone, all the other medals that I'm sure you've won. What do you think that is, that little difference? Because it's not much, right? Between first and fourth.
Yes.
What is that little difference, do you think, that that gets you to that silver medal?
So I mean, a lot of people like after the race, after the silver medal, people asking me, "Are you happy with your race?" And I mean, I want to be honest with people. There is for me like I see things differently. There is the performance and the result, and they can be tied to each other, and they can be two different things. And for me, for my race, the result was there, but the performance was not where I want to be. And this is where for me at this level, like I'm not like trying, I'm not joking here, but like sometimes if you finish fourth or fifth and you'll be so happy with your performance than finishing on the podium. And so this is the two different things. I see them differently. So for me, I have some critical thinking about my swim, my bike, uh, and that I can change or work on next time. But the performance was there, and ultimately a big race like this where there's a lot of eyes and it's 1 in 4 years, result is more important than performance. So this is where I make the difference between the two.
It I totally relate to that. I totally understand what you're saying. And our worlds are different, but when we make content, that's kind of the performance, and then the result of how our content does is
Yeah,
the result. And so you're right. Sometimes it's, hey, we made great content, the results weren't there, but I'm satisfied. And other times you're like, I got both, and that's better.
that exactly. That's yeah.
That's so cool. The What do you, trying to think how to word some of these. I mean, you've told me a little bit about the reason why triathlon, but what does sport in general kind of mean to you, and what has it done for you as, um, a para athlete? How
Yes.
how has sport kind of played a role in your life?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think for para sport in general, and we are not talking about elite level here. We're talking about any person with disability and sport. I feel like uh, if it was up to me, like this is like, I feel like every person with a physical disability should take sport, physical activity very, very seriously for so many reasons at early age. And it affect it affect the personality, it affects how you see life, but also it's very important to our survival and longevity as people with disability, because we need more than people without disability. So for me, I'll give you an example. Swimming is like one of the things that exposes your body to the rest of the world. You're wearing speedos or swim trunks, and at early age, being able to go swim and not be shy of my disability, and everybody's seen that, like over time you say, okay, well, I don't care, this is my disability, this is who I am, I'm proud of who I am, I don't care. So that's one aspect, and that can be in so many other sports. And the other aspect of that is longevity, because like for me, I have to work on my back muscles, I have to work on my core, I have to make sure that my sound knee is healthy. And it's even more important for somebody. I mean, it's not, it's everybody with a physical disability. It's really critical to have physical activity ingrained in their routine, because it's gonna make you easily be integrated with life. Because
Mm.
we don't see that we are celebrating the Paralympics, we're celebrating people here are successful, but there is a lot of people with disability that we see or we can't see, that in their room, in their houses, in their community, that nobody knows about them, that they are isolated from the world. And I think through sport we can solve that issue, I feel like. And the society will win big time from having all these people outdoor doing physical activity. Yeah. So this is how I see it.
I mean, that's so powerful, Mohammed. I mean, that's. Um, I keep saying this in each episode that um, the Paralympics, like in some ways, it's easy to see differences, right? Whether it's between all of you athletes or between able-bodied athletes or just able-bodied people and uh, in Paralympic athlete. Like so, but in some ways, you go, we have more in common than we have differences, right?
Yes.
Already, I know you're a guy that I want to hang out with, have a beer, eat some great Moroccan food.
Good.
you can you can find the best Moroccan restaurant in the city. I'll buy the meal. You find the place.
Okay, let's do that.
the the So we've already covered. We only have about 10 minutes left, 9, 10 minutes left. So is there a question? I know, especially when you're like an elite athlete, you're at the Olympics, you have multiple medals, and so you've been asked a lot of questions in your life. What's
Yes.
the one question that nobody has asked you, and you're like, still nobody has asked me this question. I would ask this question if I were them. Is there a
Oh,
question out there that you haven't been asked, or something that you haven't been able to talk about because no one's asked the question?
wow, wow. Oh man. I wow. I don't know where to start. You put me on the spot,
I
Bob.
put you on the spot. Hey, I'll give you a minute to think about it, and we could talk about other stuff while you think about that.
um, I will think like personally for my situation. I think for me, I think faith play a huge role in my life, both personal life, sport, work, and I try to like, I don't show it that much publicly, but faith is very important. So I grew up in Morocco. I'm a Muslim, and in America, uh, I like somehow I love it because we have the freedom for religion, and I can enjoy it more than when I was in home because I give you a very funny example. We have Ramadan where we fast like for a
Yeah.
month, and I love that month. And it's for spiritual, being more cautious about what you do, what you say, what you consume, and all that stuff, and fasting, and all that stuff. And I found out throughout the past 13 years here in the US that I have the best Ramadans in my life here in the US because uh, there is no distraction. It's not like something that everybody do, so you do it on your bubble. That
Right,
um,
right.
so and you're doing it the correct way. Like it's not. It become like in all the Arab worlds. It became like Christmas, like where it's over celebrated and
Right.
a lot of consumption, a lot of stuff around it. But here in the US, I feel like I enjoy it a lot, and I feel like I'm doing it a lot better. But aside that, I my faith helped me because I do my 5 prayers a day. I try to be as much as possible following and those routines because if you can keep 5 times prior a day for or you can be disciplined about training, you can be disciplined with other stuff in your life, and that aspect helped me a lot uh, to be a good athlete in some sense.
That's so interesting. I never heard anyone say that. Just the discipline of doing, because that's what you're saying. Just the discipline alone of
Yes.
doing this 5 times a day,
Yeah.
right? Brings discipline into other aspects of your life.
Yeah, and especially in this world where we are so connected to social media, to the phone, to the internet,
Yeah,
taking that 5 minutes, 5 times a day, disconnect from the world, and it helped me a lot to like stay grounded, be humble, be grateful to all these people, to the country. Yeah, I think that's a question that people don't ask a
that's
lot about me.
that's interesting. See, this question gets a lot of really interesting answers. I love it. I love it. So, how old are your kids, by the way?
So I have Adam 12, Sammy 8, and Sarah little one 5.
Oh man, so you're like right. That's those are great ages. You're right in the mix of
Yes.
a lot of excitement. So all of them are athletes, or just one or two, or how are the athletics with the kids?
I think kids they need to be athletes, all of them until they are adults and then they do whatever they want to do. We try to like keep them busy because the way how I grew up, we open the door and we go play in the street. Like
Right.
my parents would not see me until the sunset, and like unfortunately with our generation they don't get that chance. So we have to help them have physical activity as much as possible. And for kids with my wife, we try to make them exposed to variety of sports as much as possible. There is a priority. For example, swimming. Every kid need to learn how to swim. This is like a safety sport that every kid need to
Mm.
learn. And after that, whatever, cycling, running, soccer, ice skating. Yeah, so we try to like just keep trying every year, try something new, enjoy it. And like when I go, like for example, all my long runs are on Sunday. So my son Sammy will go with me on the bike for 10 miles, 12 miles,
Oh
whatever.
wow, that's great.
Uh, yeah, so 12? Okay, he said 12 miles.
So, love it. That's amazing. A 12-mile bike ride is good.
Yeah, so we try. Sometimes we go as a family. My wife will have the little one on her bike, and we go all of us. And yeah, we try to make. I try to have them part of my training.
That's really cool. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, my wife has run a few marathons and a lot of half marathons and all that. And it's like we were talking about the other day, and I was like, she's like, "Yeah, that was a lot of work." Like, so you have so much. You have your job, and then you
Yeah.
have this job, right?
Yes.
And to bring your family into that is kind of cool, right? I mean, it.
I,
Yeah, go ahead.
I will give the credit to my wife. She's the one that I don't know how she's doing this, because
Right.
like for this year for the Paralympic Games, um, I had to take like 6 months of work leave, uh, to go to Colorado Springs and train with the team there. So for this big push. So, and she managed the kids by herself
Man,
in the
that's
Bay
hard.
Area. Yeah. So kudos to her. She's the one who's, yeah, yeah. I'm here
Hey,
because of her.
this is good. This is how we usually end the show, where we kind of give shout outs to whether it's other people or your sponsors or whoever you want. So I'll let you go first on the shout outs, and then I'll do my shout outs as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm great. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, Bob. My wife, like, for being with me, we met through triathlon in 2009.
Oh wow.
Literally, yeah, through triathlon, and she's been with me supporting this journey. She's even putting pressure on me to go to LA to get gold because I had bronze, silver, and she's like, now you need to go to LA.
Hey,
I say,
I'm
oh
with
my
her.
God.
I'm with her. Come on, let's go, Mohammed. You have to do it.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a big push.
It's just a
Yeah, my
short bike ride.
yeah, I mean, my family, my friends in the Bay Area, my coach Derek Williamson in Colorado Springs, all the USA Triathlon staff in Colorado Springs, my teammates, my resident teammate in Colorado Springs. I mean, also, they've been my partner for all these years through the ups and downs. They helped me to be the best athlete out there with a lot of resource from them. I'm very grateful for them. It's not just like, yeah, a lot of knowledge and expertise to them. The Challenge Athlete Foundation in San Diego helps a lot of athletes with disability in the US, around the world, to be active. Helps military veteran, helps kids who were born with disability. Uh, the goal is just to make as much as possible people with physical disability to be physically active. So yeah, and thank you, Bob, for having me here and spreading the word of paratriathlon to your audience.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I can tell already we're gonna do some good work together. We need
Let's
we need
go.
to shoot some content together for sure. The
Let's do it.
my first shout out is to you. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And I like when you're like, just send a calendar invite so I won't forget. I know you got like a million things going on, and then of course you're going to do a little show in the middle of it all. So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. The I can't wait to talk more about your story and your knowledge, your story, your knowledge, and your smile while giving it all to us. I think is awesome. And so for us, if you want to follow Mohammed, where can we follow you on social media?
I'm mainly on Instagram, Mohamed Lana. Simple.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So for World's Greatest, you've been seeing all that little ticker at the bottom flipping around. So if you want to follow us, we're on all social platforms. We recently launched our TikTok channel, and that's doing great. So we're just gonna keep pumping out content there too. But a big shout out to Vizio. So if you have a Vizio smart TV, you can see pretty much kind of all of our content. We're going to be putting more and more content in there. Hopefully, as we move toward LA 2028, we'll have a big world's greatest hub of content.
Nice.
Yeah. So big shout out
Love
to
that.
those guys. They've been a great partner for us for distribution. Curiosity Stream is another partner. They're like a streaming service, mostly kind of like sciencey documentaries. They do some really cool stuff. Our show, The Science of Movement, is on that platform. So we were the number one show for a little while there, so that was pretty cool. And through them, we're on. Also, you can find us on Apple TV and Prime Video if you search The Science of Movement. So then you kind of go back through into Curiosity Stream. So those
Cool.
are all the shout outs there for us. Big shout out too to HSS, which is Hospital for Special Surgery. They were our sponsor for the Science of Movement show. If you haven't seen it, you should.
All right.
So, Mohammed, I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's 10 episodes. We break down, it's 10 different sports, 10 different athletes. Um,
I think I
five
saw
are
one of them.
five are track and field, and then five are not track and field. So it's a fun series, and it's definitely one we could do an episode in that one for sure because you cover 3 sports in one. So, so it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, this was a great show. And who's this that we have with you now? This
Say your name.
My name
what?
is Sammy.
Sammy. That's what I was going to guess. How do you like Paris, Sammy?
Good.
Is it your first time there?
Yeah, well, before I passed by, but I never walked on the ground.
Oh, okay, all right. So, did you? What was your favorite food so far in Paris?
I don't know. It's really hard to choose.
Did your dad give you any of those chocolate muffins?
1 second, sir.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
brought one. Okay, I'll take it.
everyone was
Yeah.
talking about the chocolate muffins. I mean, I was hoping everyone would be talking about the croissants, but I don't know.
They're legit actually. I brought one to my family to try. They're legit. I mean, the food at the village is really good.
Yeah. Oh,
Really,
that's
really
great.
good.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. The All right, my friend. Thank you for being on the show. This was awesome. I can't wait to
Thank
do it
you.
again and meet you in person soon.
Thank you,
So
Bob. Thank you for
thanks
having
so
me.
much. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully now you can just relax with that big
Yes.
silver medal around your neck. There you are. You popped back. You popped off and back.
All right. Do
Friend,
you want? Yeah. All
I'll
right.
see you
Thank you.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye bye.
Great show. That was a great show. All right. We'll see everybody soon.